Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Oh, finally, a little excitement.
I'm feeding the Israelis.
Rabbi said there's some very, very geschmacka controversial emails. I love controversial. I'm going to start off with something light. This used to be in English. Somebody changed it for me to Hebrew, but forgot to put the English. So I'm just going to read the Hebrew. Now I'm going to have to translate from the fake to the real. I want to thank you for your shiurim. And I put a poster to be mechazik. Kids, I can't even. But basically, there's pictures over here of this individual, Mishpachas Pilchik, of all different times that he learned Torah in interesting situations, like Purim morning, at the dentist. Here, Purim morning, I guess it's the right bottom picture. Oh, but you left. Okay. Baruch Hashem, this past Simchas Torah was my second time doing Shnai Mikra Vechel Targum. I've been with the shir since Gemara Shon a little over 3 years ago. It's mamish changed my life. I want to share with you what I do because doing it pasuk by pasuk was very difficult for me. I asked Rabbi Moshe Heinman of Baltimore if I could read the whole parsha 2 times straight through, and then read the Onkelos straight through. So yes, you're allowed to read the entire. That's what I do. I read from beginning to end in one shot, and then I do every day. One day I do the entire thing, and then on Monday I do, Risha and just that and the Onkelos. So I want to make a pump. Let's start Shnai Mikra Vechel Targum from Noach. If you haven't done Bereishis, let's start from Noach. That's how we do it. We start in the middle. It's Givaldik. You can read the whole parsha 2 times. He said yes. By the way, about 200 people signed up for the Chumash. So that's Givaldik. He said yes, and also told me. Okay. Please. Givaldik ideas. Anyway. Yesterday we had, I gave a patch. Where's that Chaya? I saw him again today. Where is he? What's your name, Tzaddik? F.I.L? You're not going to like some of the emails I read now, okay? Let's go. Let's bring it on. First, we'll start with something Yishmak. Shalom, Eli Stefansky. Thank you so much for the lively daily share. Even through the Miluim and Gaza, I couldn't listen. I brought my Gemara, kept up with the Yomi. Though lacking your sharp chachma and inspiring stories. I had an idea that maybe you had already thought of. Maybe you could have army green MDY patches. Tactical MDY patches. I don't know if the Sadir could wear them, but should be fine for Miluim. And when we had an opportunity to talk about the daf, sincerely, your Talmud, Chaim Reichbach, Yerushalayim. What I noticed here is the background noise. Unbelievable. Rabbi said, check this out. Just listen to the background noise, okay? All of a sudden, a burst of machine gun fire, gewaldige stuff.
Good morning, Rabbi Sai. It's Geschmack to do the daf in Aza too. Sending greetings to all the MD wires and knowing that it's not about the daf, it's about the Yomi. We gotta keep on keeping on.
You heard that? He doesn't even hear it. He doesn't flinch. It's 24/7. Here's the controversial one. The 2 controversial ones. Givaldik. Okay. So, this is another nice one. First, thank you very much. This was the Chayal, Adir, who has PTSD. The Olam clapped for him, and he told me afterwards that it brings back any thought, any kind of. So first, thank you very much for your patience and attention and granted me last night at the end of the lesson. I had a great appreciation of that. This is just a translation into English. I want to share a joyful, special fact from the nights of the war. I met a sweet Jew, Rabbi Yedidya Kaufman. He was the rabbi of the 432 2nd Battalion, Givati. We committed to learn the Daf Yomi. B'kitzur, a whole long thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but they sat and they learned the daf together, and Chayalim would walk by, what's all this noise? And they joined them, and they got a little bit of a chabura, about 5 people. This rabbi that he learned with, by mistake, one of his Chayalim in his battalion had a discharge from the gun, and it shot him in the leg. The rabbi got shot in the leg, so he had to go for surgery. So that threw off their chavrusashaft. So then Adir found MDY, and he's been with us since then. And for me, the taste of learning was missing after he recovered. He says the pasuk of I tasted it, and the v'haya eitz nechmad lemaro lemachol. The tree was pleasant to the eye and good for the food, for the eating. The Kitzer, the soldiers were protected everywhere, and the injured and the sick soldiers need divine rachamim, merit the swift return of all the captured, both living and not. Amen and amen. Your student drawer adari. Okay, this person was a little upset when he wrote this email. I think, dear Rav Eli, I'm a regular learner of the daily Daf Yomi. Enjoy learning. In addition to pure study of the Daf, you weave in stories, both real and not so real. Alongside your experience and ventures, the audience appreciates. Why not? However, I've noticed that most participants in your class do not seem to carry the burden of military service. So this is a big no-no. We don't talk politics here. We don't get involved. We have everybody from everywhere. We try to talk about Achdos, and we do have, I don't know anywhere else in the world that we have so many Yidden from so many different backgrounds coming together every day on Zoom, live, and we learn Torah. Now, when I said this last night, I read this email in Hebrew. It was written in Hebrew. Guy from Maranana. I asked the Olam in the room who served in the army, and I would say about 50% of the people in the room raised their hand, including Dave Sharfman, who was behind the camera, Kobe Goldschmidt, who wears a frock on Yontif, served in the army, and many, many others who you wouldn't even know. Spiegel and all sorts of people, they served in the army. These are a bunch of American tourists. Who served in the army here? Anybody served in the army? Benzi, Yosef, you, Gil. How many? He was in the Sivas Hashem, and you, I think, served in the army. A little bit. Okay, and you're learning to go into the army, no? You told me? What? It doesn't matter. 1 day, 3 days. You a half a year, so raise your hand. Oh, you're going a half a year. Okay. Kitzer. Us Americans, I'm a tourist, so whatever. When you casually mentioned, stood firm against the armies over the year now. The recent casualty is a stark reminder of the sacrifices being made. When you casually mentioned, I heard 5 soldiers fell yesterday, heaven forbid, and then quickly moved on to read emails from the audience, it struck me as somewhat dismissive. Those 5 soldiers left behind orphans and widows. If you feel it's necessary to mention their fate, I believe it deserves a moment of honor and whatever the next word is. I believe the numbers you share about the hundreds of thousands joining the combat soldiers dedicated to the sanctity of the land reflect true self-sacrifice. As someone with family members serving in the military who are also committed to Torah mitzvahs, I hope to hear a bit more humility in your lessons. Look, I also have a bunch of family members, I have 2 nephews and so many chaverim, and we have Robert Eli who lost his son. We have people from the shir, guys from the shir who come, Azi, all these guys, leave. What about your kids, 2 of them? But I'm saying your son, he says he has family. I also have family. As someone with family members serving, perhaps fewer anecdotes and more teaching rooted in Torah, love for Israel and our people. If you have any influence among your followers, it would be wonderful to see you encourage them to enlist in the military and fulfill their duties during this existential war we face. Now it's time to act and show they are part of the collective called Am Yisrael. Best regards, Shlomo Taub, Ranana. So first of all, I don't get into politics, and I don't even talk about the news usually, unless it's Naget to the Daf or whatever. I'm not here to announce casualties and injuries. Once in a while, it hits me strong. If 5 guys, as I'm walking to the Misayem, I say, and I'm not going to get into it and talk about it. That's not my place. I also don't. Shamshi writes to me yesterday that somebody was insulted the way I mentioned the Trump video. It looked like I slighted Trump. Maybe I could go out and promote Trump. I don't promote different things. Anyone. What I hold. I have a certain ashkaf. I'm not going to talk about Trump. I'm not going to talk about Harris. I'm a tremendous supporter of Harris. I think she's mamish one of the biggest Bali Kishrin in the world. And I don't want to go out here and what? Oh, very good. The reason I started the Hebrew shir, and I told this guy, I spoke to him to the camera. The reason I started the Hebrew shir was because of the Chayalim, because of the Haz, because of the Matzav. I didn't have a lot of time in my hands then, and I said, let's do something. The little I could do, I can't go to the army, so let me give a shir, let me learn Torah. And it was one, I said it on day 1, and I mentioned it many times after. He obviously doesn't watch the Sharei that well. But anyway, I think Trump will be tremendous for Klal Yisrael, for the Yidden, but I'm not going to stand here and support something. That's not what we do here. We try to. I once actually did speak about Trump in a positive way, and believe it or not, I got an email from a frum guy that lives in Ramat Shemesh. He says, "How dare you support him? You know who he is. You got to vote Biden. I'm saying there's people, and I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. There's all types of people, and I am able to respect everybody's opinion. People have opinions that are the opposite of me. Now, I want to show you this email that I got within an hour of this email. Okay? Within an hour. Dear Rav Eli, I hope this message finds you with the same joy you bring to us. This is written in English. The same joy you bring to us every day through your Daf Yomi share. I wanted to take a moment to express my deep appreciation for the impact of your share as an entrepreneurial coach focused on business strategies. Okay, he's focused on business strategies. It's been refreshing and inspiring to find myself engaged in Torah learning with such excitement. Thanks to your incredible teaching, your unique mix of humor, engaging anecdotes, and deep insights has rekindled my passion for learning in a way I never imagined. My family jokes that I've started quoting the Gemara more than I quote business insights, and I'm grateful for that shift. If I may, I'd like to share a thought that's been on my mind. Growing up in the Satmar community, certain matters hold a special place in my heart. When moments in the shir include gratitude directed to Israeli soldiers for the service, it brings up some discomfort. Our Reverend Rebbe, Zecher Tzaddik Livrach, in a Sefer Vayol and Moshe, emphasized the importance of maintaining boundaries around these issues. Value shared by many in my background. I understand your intention to be inclusive and to honor all who join in learning. With a slight adjustment, the shir could become even more welcoming for Yidden like myself, who hold these sensitivities close to heart. The Torah is vast and all-encompassing, a nourishing dish that brings us all together. Thank you for your dedication to spreading Torah in authenticity and warmth. May Hashem bless you and your family with health, happiness, success. There's a lot of people in this room that are squirming right now in their chairs in successful all their endeavors. May continue to be Marbit's Torah for many years to come, inspiring countless Yidden along the way. What he's saying is that he might appreciate it and everything, but maybe I shouldn't mention it. Listen, everybody has their thing. This guy's upset I didn't mention the Chayalim long enough, and he's upset that I mentioned Chayalim B'chlal. So that's the beauty of MDY. And that's the picture we had yesterday. We had the guys with the Bieber head sitting next to the guys, the modern Orthodox with the rings on their fingers. We have it all, and we have to learn to respect everybody. Mashiach, I don't think will come through these emails. These kind of things, I think, Fakert, if we respect other people's opinions and ashkafas, we understand that we have our ashkafa, everybody has their own ashkafa. I've never seen someone really change somebody else's ashkafa, even 5% in any direction. You grow up a certain way, you could talk until you're blue in the face about how they're wrong. Nobody changes. So we have our ashkafa, you have your ashkafa, you have this ashkafa, but we all come here for one reason, to learn Torah, and stop sending me these silly emails. And now to close it all off from a Satmar Chassid. I received this email today. Shalom Bracha, Rav Eli Shlita. I want to share with you an amazing vart which I heard by Rav Avrum Mordechai Malach Shlita, which encapsulates what you are highlighting very often at Shir. This is Moshe Perel, maybe related to you, from Kiryas Yoel. He's with us since Ksubas Daf Samachei. It encapsulates, you're highlighting very often in the Shir, that is the camaraderie at MDY in a nutshell. Vayomer Hashem solachti. Samach lamed ches tof yud. Rosh Teva samach is Sfardim. Lamed is Litvaks. Ches is Chasidim. Tof is Teimonim. And yud is Yekis. V'chulu. What I wanted to add is Kidvarecha. The way you learn, and this is for sure with MDY, which symbolizes with Slicha. Batzlacha, Moshe Perel, Kiryas Yoel. So we have it from everywhere. We have the Chayalim writing in, we have this writing in, then we have the Satmar at the end says we're all Achdus. We have the Satmar that says he had this perfect English and he does this, but he's still. It could be he's even off the derech. I have no idea who this guy is, but Chayal, oy vavoy, that's the mamish. I don't think he is. And with that, we could. Where are we holding? Wow. Okay, Shachris at 8:22. The Misayem Yerushalmi Seder Zeraim, the return of all the hostages. Parnassa chodesh linish was Zechariah ben Moshe linish was Chaya bas Yosef. Parnassa chodesh health and strength for Rav Eli. Parnassa chodesh Lakewood family, Lakewood New Jersey, because Torah is the best Gula. Parnassa chodesh Yosef ben Chaya Sara for Parnassa berevach. Parnassa Shavor for Shlaima for Tinuk ben Nechama. Besoich kol Sharei Yisroel from his family. Parnassa Yoim Shmuel Idler Eli Nishmas Avi Mori Eli Yochanan ben Aaron Yosef on his 10th yard site today. I'm B'Ezras HaShem being listened to this Rabbi Isai Chizuk V'Doilam. Today I'm B'Ezras HaShem being Misayem Yerushalmi Seder Zeraim that I learned L'Zeichen Nishmasai and Shabbosim over these 10 years. On Shabbos, took him 10 years. Seder Zeraim. That video I sent to this guy Al Chanan, I forgot his name, the one that sent me a thank you for sending the video. Oh, it says Misayem Seder Zeraim. What? Oh, and Eli Nishmas. The one and only Benzi Novak, who made a breakfast by himself for the whole entire Shir and Sukkot, and today was his mother's yard site, and he brought sandwiches for everyone and cookies for anybody. Have one of those sandwiches in a bag here? Let me see this sandwich. Let me just show what he did for the Olam. Everybody got one of these. This is how a Litvak does tikkun, not some of the silly schnapps and hating. Litvish, this is how you do it. And also, those are the cookies. Check this out. Put it in the camera, and we can learn. I think Mendy wants to do some Torah. Wow. Oh, we still have to finish sponsors. Yisroel Sherer celebrating birthday today, giving brachas to you, Rav Eli. Where's Yisroel? Is he here in the room? Happy birthday. How old, Yisroel? 25. Willie Balk and the Englewood MDY Chevra. Willie raised for the charity thing. He raised $17,000. Willie, remember him? He was the one that introduced me to this guy. I forgot his name. The one that's very involved with all Daf. Binyamin Ben Daveed Hakimian, father-in-law of Raviv Gailor. Also Mazel Tov to Rachel Eisenberger, to Dov and Rachel Eisenberger on the birth of their first Einikol. Mazel Tov, Yishkoich, Willie. Hope to see you, Rabbi. I believe today, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow. Some of the people that were at the Shabbaton last year are going to receive an email for registration, a special invitation tomorrow. It's going to be tomorrow. Okay. Just to remind the Olam, we had this thing yesterday that a guy, I don't know if we have to go into, because we're late. Maybe not. Here's the spit that helps. Oh, you didn't do it? We didn't do the spit thing yet?
No, you didn't do it.
Oh, so where are we holding? Ahud also come in the Rabbi Babrachano? Ahud also come in the Rabbi Babrachano. Oh, my lay, Mechzukani Bezeshu Bechar. So we can show this again. Huh? Oh, so we did do this yesterday. Oh, but we did the spit. I didn't show this this thing yet. Ah. Oh yeah, you're right. Great. Okay, good. So we're gonna have to show the spit thing again. Givaldik. I would also come in Reb Chanina. Omar lei muzikani b'zeshu b'char. I know that this guy, I have a chazaka. Everybody talks about him as a b'char. Omar lei menoyedat. Well, where did you get this chazaka from? Omar lei, right? Because we're gonna see that when it comes to b'char, you don't in everything in the Torah to take money out from somebody, you need to aid them. B'char might be different. The father himself has the right sometimes when it's not against the chazaka. We'll see. So over here, there's a chazaka that says that this guy is a b'char. How do you know? When we go to his father, go to my son Shikras. His name is Shikras. The Bukhru, he is a b'char. He has such good spit. He has b'char spit. It actually heals. It could heal an eye. Vidilma Bukhradimo. Okay, great. A b'char has this power in a spit, but maybe he's a b'char from the mother, not from the father. Says Gemara Gemiri. Bukhra da Abba Masei Ruke. We know that the spittle of a b'char that comes only from the father. He has to be a b'char of a father. That's the one that could heal. Bukhra di ima loy Masei Ruke. But a b'char from a mother. So therefore, since we know that the father used to say, "Go to my son, let him spit in your face," that means there's a b'char from a father. Here's now that you know this Gemara here goes. This guy must be a b'char. Yeah, it was an eye. It was an eye.
But then it's no. Eli, the spin specifically heals eyes.
Right. Right, eyes. As I said, correct. Correct, eyes. So there's a Maisa in the Medrash. Medrash brings a story about a woman that liked to go to Remeir Shiurim. Remeir used to give a lot of Agadata stories and Mashalem. So she would go, and she came home very late once, and the husband said, "You can't come in unless you go back to Remeir and spit in his face." So she went back to Remeir, and Remeir realized immediately, through Ruach HaKodesh, he said, "You know, I have a problem. I have a disease in my eye. Could you please spit in my eye?" She spat in his eye, and then she went back home. She told her husband, "I spit in Remeir 7 times. I was machber. I did more than necessary." So there is a thing in the time of the Gemara, the spittle of a b'char heals. Omer about it. Now we're starting a new sugi. Tumtum. Tumtum is a kid that was born. It's hard to tell whether he's a male or female, covered by skin. And in order to see what's going on, you have to take away the skin. You have to do a little bit of a surgery. So at the time of birth, nobody knew what this person was. A boy or a girl. They did a little surgery. They found out the kid is a zachar. So since he's the firstborn, you think that he gets the b'char like everybody else. No, he does not get the second portion of the b'char. The Amar Krad is B'Ezras HaShem. V'haya haben abchar lasniya. V'haya, what's this word v'haya? It's extra. Ad shiyeh bein mishas havaya. He has to be known as a son from the moment he's born. And based on this idea, they have to be known from the moment you're born. So we have a number of halachas that come out from it. The Sfardim, it's known. The Sfardim are very into having boys, especially the b'char. Ben Ish says, "Vayitmeneu b'chal vayar sham kein ish." I don't know exactly. Vayar sham, vayar kein ish, vayif nekoy v'chay. So the Ben Ish says something to the point like he saw a man, his wife gave birth. He looked, he sees there's no son. It's not a son. It's a girl. It's a girl. Vayitmeneu b'chal. He buries himself in the sand. I always say this, it's kedai to say it once in a while. I probably said it within the month. A guy told his wife, "Listen, 6 girls, atkan. You have 1 more, don't even bother coming home." She goes to the hospital, and sure enough, it's a girl. She starts crying. So the doctor says, what's the problem? She says, my husband warned me not to have another girl. He says, "Oh yeah? Where's your husband? Let me speak to him." He goes to the husband outside. He says, "Listen, good news and bad news. The good news is it's a boy. The bad news, but it's really good news, is that with a few surgeries, we could fix the heart. That's not such a big deal, because after 3 weeks, you do surgery. Most of the kids live 5 to 10 years. It's not a big deal. The liver, we could do a liver transplant. That's also not a big deal. The eyes is a shtickle problem. 10% sight." And the guy is like, he's crying and everything. He says, No, I'm messing with you. It's a girl, enjoy, healthy, that's the ikar. It's a big nace every time a kid is born. But some say, I cannot saw this in a sefer. Somebody told me it's in a sefer, but I haven't seen it. He said, the reason why this kid doesn't get a second portion, even though he's a b'char, is because for 5 minutes his father thought he might be a girl. So Mela, it's like a punishment. And it's in a Sephardi Sefer. I'm not joking. What? Who?
For the kid, not for the father.
Correct. That's what I said.
Why is the kid suffering?
Because the kid caused the father to think that he's a girl. Zog the Gemara. Rav Nachman, Rav Nachman Yitzchak Omar, Af Eni Nidoin, Ki Ben Soyer Moira. The Ben Soyer Moira, the one who Zoyle V'Soyve eats the meat and drinks the wine, steals, and I'll warn him, Hashem Asid, give him Misa. That doesn't apply, even though he's a boy. But he wasn't a boy from the first moment. Domakro Kiyah Lish Ben Soyer Moira. At Shiyah, Bein b'shas havayo. Daf Kuf Chov Zayin. Amemar Omar Af Einoi Mimayat Chelik B'Chayro. This is amazing. What does this mean? So we have Givaldic chart here. Even though he is a child, he's one of the brothers, but he doesn't reduce the portion of the B'Chayro. So take a look at this. It's very geshmak. If there are three brothers and a b'char, right? Obviously, there's a b'char here. How much does the b'char get? And how do we divide the estate? You divide the estate. If there's three brothers, you divide the estate into 4 parts. B'char takes 2, and each one takes 1. If there are 2 brothers, how do you divide the estate? You divide the estate by 3. The b'char takes 2, and the other one takes 1. So let's see how it looks. Let's say there's 900. How do you divide 900 by 4? The father dies, he left 900. You take 225. 225, the B'char should get how much? The B'char should get 450. The other boys take 225. The Gemara is saying, no. We're going to pretend that there's no tumtum for one moment. At the moment that we're splitting, we're doing the division here, we're going to put the tumtum on the side. And therefore, we're going to pretend there's only 2 brothers. If there's 2 brothers, we have to divide the estate by how much? By 3. And then the chelik ha-b'chayra, just the chelik, not how much the b'char takes, but just the portion of the b'char at this point is how much? 300. Not the total amount, not with his regular portion, just the b'char's portion. The b'char's portion is 300. You have to remember that, without the simple part. So you take 300, you give him 300. Now, how much do you have left? 600. The 600 is divided by how much? By 3 brothers. Now you put the tumtum back into the equation. And Memela 600 divided by 3 is 200. So now you give the b'char another 200. So instead of getting 450, he gets 500. That's what the Gemara means, that we don't count him at all by the chelik of the b'char. Should I do it again? We'll do it real quick. If there's 900, you put the tumtum on the side, and you pretend there's only 2 brothers. And what is the share of the b'char when there's 2 brothers? 300, not 225, 300. Kacha, because we don't view the tumtum as anything. He doesn't count at this point. Why? No. Just the chelik ha-b'chayra. Then we take the 600 that's left. The b'char gets 2 portions. The regular portion that every son gets, and an additional portion called chelik ha-b'chayra. How do you know how much chelik ha-b'chayra is? Well, if there's 3 boys, you divide the estate into 4, and one part of the 4 is this chelik ha-b'chayra. But if we don't count the tumtum, then we divide the estate by 3, so the chelik ha-b'chayra is 300. That's all we do. Then you start all over again. Now you have 600 left, which is very, very interesting, because now the Pashut kid, instead of getting 225, he's going to get 200. But it doesn't matter. This is what the Torah says. The Torah says you take the 600, now you divide the 600 by 3, and give each son an equal share. The B'char already got a share. You got 500 instead of 450. Now I'm going to ask you a question. This is a riddle. A lot of you know some of the answers. I don't think all of you know all the answers. Whoever knows all the answers and wasn't here yesterday in the share and didn't let, will get 10,000 points. Good for 25 cents towards merch. 2 boys were born on the same exact day, in the same exact city, on the same exact block. One of them had a bris on Shabbos, and one of them had a bris on Sunday. They weren't yellow, they weren't purple. Regular boys. Anybody else besides these kids? Huh? Who said? Different floors. Right. So that's one. I have three things that could go on here. 3. One was born on the top floor, one was born on the bottom. So Shki on the top, Shki on the bottom. What else? No. They were born at the same exact moment. Same exact moment. Well, how does C-section help? Why is They're both born naturally. Huh? Timtum. What happened? So what? You don't do a bris? Huh? But he's a boy. Oh, Tumtum is the other one. And I got another one good one. Mamish practical for today. Shaya. There are some Hasidim that believe that Shkia is Rabbeinu Tam Shkia. They go by Rabbeinu Tam, and even Lekula. It's a far-fetched, very strong Hasidim. They'll drive a car all the way up to Rabbeinu Tam Shkia if they have to. Soif Shkia. So if a kid was born on Shabbos, at that point of time where by most of the world it's still Shabbos, by them, by most of the world it's already Motzei Shabbos, by them it's still Shabbos. And they'll make a bris on Shabbos and we'll make it on Sunday. Or fakir on Friday. Okay. But it's practical. It's Ma'aseh Shaya. This is how they'll do it. Because they view the day starting and ending at a different time. Rav Sizi Omar, Af Einoi Nima L'Shmoina. A tumtum is not, you're not Mechal Shabbos to do a bris milah for a tumtum, even though right now we found out that he is a boy. Why? Because it's B'Ezras HaShem. Domakro Isha ki Sazria v'yolda Zachar, u'vayom hashmini yimor. This woman gave birth, and actually we're going to go into these psukim now. The woman gave birth, and you do a bris milah on the 8th day, but you have to be a zachar at the moment of the birth. Rav Sharei Omar Af Ein Imoy Tmeya Leida. This is one of the greatest chidushim. Rav Eli, here it goes. This is beautiful. Check this out. Mamish, easy. It's just we have it very often in chance. It's just hard to remember the different days, but this makes it very simple. If a woman gives birth to a zachar, no matter what, whether she sees dam or she doesn't see dam, she's tummy for 7 days only. And this is all Midiraisa. Rabbi say, Midiraisa. This is not how we do today, but Midiraisa is only 7 days. Then she gets what we call 33 freebies. No matter what, she could see dam, not see dam. She is completely tahar, 100% tahar for 33 days. A total of 40. If she gave birth to a girl, everything is double. She's 100% tummy for 14 days. We don't ask any questions. What is zero dam? Tummy for 14 days. But then she gets double the freebies. She gets 66 days of freebies no matter what. Even if she has much dam, then it's garnished. It's dam tahar. So for a total of 80. So this is 40 days and this is 80 days of tahira. Says Rav Sharei, you're not going to believe this. If a woman gives birth to a tumtum, she has nothing. Zero. Erase. Pretend nothing happened. Not 7 days of Tumah, not 40 days of Tahara, or 33 days of Tahara, not 14 days of Tumah, and not 66 days of nothing. Zero. Why? Because she didn't give birth, not to a Zachar, not to a Keva. She gave birth to something called a Tumtum. Says the Gemara, it's impossible what you're saying. Meisvei. Why? Domakra, Ishaki says Rav Eli, she is Zachar, Mishas Leitli. It has to be Zachar. You're not a Zachar, you're garnished. What if a woman miscarries something that looks like a tumtum androgynos or an androgynos? You have to be makbid on both. So it says mufurish that we count the tumtum as a zachar, not as a nothing, not as a big zero, as something. It might be in a cave also, but it's for sure zachar. So how do we do that? Check this out. Unbelievable. If it's a suffix. So now we have to say l'chumra for everything. We don't know. It might be a boy, it might be a girl. If it's a girl, how many days is she tameh? 14. That's the chumra. We have to go for the longer one. 14. Now, to say that she's tar all the way to day 80, that's a tremendous kula. Even if there's dam and everything, she's completely tar to 80. So we can't do 80. So what do? Till 40, which is a total of 26 days of tayar. Okay? Says the Gemara, it's a bomb question. It says Mufurish in the Brayso that she has to sit, even if she miscarries, so certainly if she gave birth to a tumtum. As the Gemara, let me tell you, is this a big problem to Rav Shizvi? He says that you don't do a bris milah on Shabbos. You see that this guy you can view him as a zachar. Yeah, the Tana didn't know. He said, I don't know if it's a zachar, I don't know if it's a nekeva, so let's do the 14 and 40. And you're going to say also, I don't know if it's a zachar, I don't know if it's in a cave, I don't know anything, I don't know if it's even a boy, I don't know what it is. So don't push off Shabbos. Let's be machmer and don't push off Shabbos. Says the Gemara, Yachi, if you have a big suffix here, Teshav l'zachar, v'len akeva, v'len nida mebayalei. There's one tzad that maybe this tumtum is what? A zero. He doesn't even count. He's not a zachar, not in a keva. What is he? Nothing. It's a new category called tumtum, and it's not in the Torah. And the Torah doesn't say 7, 40, 80, 66. And the Torah talks about zachar and a keva, not a tumtum. So there is one part of the suffix saying that the zero tahara, zero tuma. So what is this woman? A regular woman who sees dam. If a woman sees dam, she's a nida. There's no tayar. You can't say, oh, she's tahar to her husband, to tahar, no korbanos. What do you mean? She's a nida, regular nida. So then say, l'zachar v'lenekeva v'lenida mebayalei. So there's a question that Rashbam talks about. If you want to see big arichos here, why does Gemara even mention? It's just the Gemara nida. The Gemara shouldn't even mention the word zachar. If I say the word nekeva and nida, I cover all my bases. 14 days of tumah and 0 tahara, 0. After 14, I go straight into nida. So zachar does nothing for me. Zachar is the least. It's only 7 days of tumah. So she says in a case where she was a nida, she saw dam on 34 and 41, then I have an afkamin, and that's why I say zachar. Okay, not going to get into it now. We'll have a lot of fun in Mesechtas Nida B'Ezras HaShem. Says the Gemara. It is. It's good stuff. Kasha. Okay, it's a kasha. It's not a tuyuf, it's a kasha. Omar Rava. Can you say the Rebami? Rebami is the one that says that a tumtum doesn't get 2 portions of the b'char even though he's the firstborn. Because it says in the pasuk, Bein v'loi tumtum, says in the Braisa. Meforish, mamish like a Rebami. It's a son and not a tumtum. A tumtum doesn't get 2 portions. B'char v'loi safek. B'Shlaima ben v'loi tumtum the Rebami. The word ben comes to say Rebami's halacha that a tumtum doesn't get 2 portions. What is it coming to teach us? So this is an amazing Gemara, also something to learn from, like a lot of Gemaras, or most Gemaras, or all Gemaras. The Darash Rava. This is a story, also a story I say over a lot. Every time I think about it, I get the chills. These 2 boys right over here were born in South Africa, in the same exact hospital on the same day. And the only boys that were born, the only kids that were born that day. The nurse, they're still, obviously they're like in their 20s today. It's a story that happened mamish in our generation. The nurse mixed up the boys and gave a different boy to a different parent, different mother. Now, the one on the right, blonde, blue eyes, he goes home to this darker looking woman, white, but in a very, very poor area. She lives in a shed somewhere. Doesn't have garnish. He grew up without a bike garnished. The other one, the one on the left, goes home to these millionaires, send them to private schools. He's driving a Ferrari when he's 16 years old. Problem is that one of them got divorced, and they did a DNA test, and they see the kid is not their kid. So whose kid is it? They're shocked. They go back to they realize that there's a thing. So they go to the hospital, and they realize there was a switcheroo. They did the DNA. Now what do? This kid that's the millionaire is very happy. This kid that's living like this, he's very miserable. He wants to go to this. He doesn't want to go here. But what happened was that the mothers decided when the kids were very, very young that they'll keep it as is. But when the kids grew older and became teenagers, the blonde one was miserable. He wanted to go back to his real house, his real thing. They suffer. So what happened was he actually went there. So the millionaires got 2 kids, and the Nebuch lady, she got 0. So anyway, every time I think it's like Nervine. So something similar happened in our sugya. 2 women gave birth to 2 zcharim. It happens to be that these 2 women were married to the same man. But the idea is the same, that there was a switcheroo at birth. There was something that happened at birth where they couldn't keep track of who's who. One of them is a b'char, and one of them is not a b'char. They have the same father, but one of them is a b'char. So what do? Who gets now? In addition to these 2 kids, there's 25 other boys in the mishpacha. So now the other kids from the family could say, hey, bring a raya that you're b'char, otherwise, so in order to keep the extra portion of Yerusha between the 2 of them and not to worry about the brothers, they do something called a harsha. Kaisim Harsha Zelazeh says Rava, and this was a little bit of a mistake that he made, Rava. He says they write a shtar. Now there is a concept called Harsha, and he's right about that, but just not in this particular case, as the Gemara is going to point out. Harsha means I write to you that if I'm the Bechar, I let you have the Bechara, and if you're the Bechar, you let me have the Bechara. In other words, to exclude the other brothers from the story. We don't want the other brothers to get involved there and start asking for portions, not giving us. Between the two of us, we could definitely share the $10 million extra chelik of the Bechara. What are you saying? Ravin asked all his Rabbeim, and they didn't say a thing. But they said in the name of Rav Yanai, Hukru. This is the key word. If for one moment in time the nurse said, "This is the Bechar," and she put the baby down, and 3 minutes later there's a switcheroo, okay, there was a Bechar for a moment. Then you could write Harsha. Rava, you didn't say that. You said in all cases, and that's a problem. But if there was never a moment in time where we knew that one of them was a Bechar, this is the Gzeres HaKosav, that you have to know that there's a Ben Bechar for a moment. Listen to this, Rav Eli. This is unbelievable. Chafetz Chaim brings this Gemara. Rava said, I made a mistake. He brought in the microphone, the Amor that talks really loud, Udorash, and he said, Dvarim shamarti lechem tos heim biyadi. I love it. And Amoira, greatest Amoraim, Rava. Right? I don't know if he's mentioned the most in Shas, probably one of the most. I made a mistake. I don't have a problem admitting I made a mistake. This is how it is. If you notice that it was a Bechar, great. Let me just show you the Chafetz Chaim real quickly. Kobe found this for me. After a lot of searching, I couldn't figure it out. But he says over here that if somebody goes to a Bezdin and you don't understand the psak of the Bezdin, first of all, Bezdin, the Talmid Chachamim, you're in Amaretz, Yadas Balabatim is different. But second of all, even if the Bezdin is wrong, it says over here, even the Amoraim, Harishonim, made mistakes. And they'll take it back. Dvarim shamarti lefnechem tosem biyadi beram kach amru. Quotes the Gemara Nida, which is the same Gemara over here. So a Rav could say, I made a mistake. It's okay to say that. Sholchalei b'nei Akra d'Agma l'Shmuel. The people of Akra d'Agma, they sent to Shmuel. The whole world knows that this kid is a Bechar. We saw him fasting Erev Pesach. Everybody knows he's the oldest kid in the family. V'omer ovev al acher Bechar hu ma'u. Here we have a Givaldic picture from Yoshi. There's a guy with a very long white beard, and there's a guy with a black beard. He's a Bechar, no? And he said, Tati, I want those cookies. He said, no, he's my Bechar. The guy with the black beard. As I is. Everybody says it's Muchzik, he's the Bechar. No, he's the Bechar. There's a Maisa Chaya where this guy was held up at gunpoint, and the guy pulled the trigger from guy. The guy pulled the trigger and nothing came out. And he tried again. There's a jam in the gun. So he said, forget it. Just walk. But from that moment on, his beard became white. From the fear, he thought that's it. He's dead. He heard the trigger go there. And I have a Muridika. Oh. Lauren, what's the guy's name next to you? Ushi? What? Osher. Boys, I got to tell you real quickly. Osher went to Chasana 2 nights ago. What did Osher do at the wedding? He recruited 3 people. Osher recruited 3 people. You believe this? Maisa Shaya. I'm telling you, a Maisa Shaya. So anyway, Givaldic joke. I love this joke. One of the top jokes of all time. I've never said this one. 3 guys are trying to get into the Mossad. 2 men, 1 woman. He says, okay, test number 1. Take this gun, go inside this room, kill whoever's inside the room. The guy comes out white like a ghost. He says, I can't do it. Why not? It's my wife. I'm not going to kill her. Okay, you're out. Go. Next guy goes in. Same thing comes out. I can't do it. It's my wife. Woman goes in. She comes out after 10 minutes. What happened? So I went in there. I saw my husband. So I shot him. problem is, they were fake bullets. It didn't kill him. So I took the chair and I killed him with the chair. Those who didn't get it will get it in 5 minutes, but it's a great joke, trust me. Huh? Oh, because the guy's beard became white. Why the guy's beard became white? No, because how do you make people say this is the b'char? He must be old. Like when I go with my brother, everybody thinks my brother's older than me. He says, no, he's older, but he's less mature. Whatever. He has a white beard. He looks older. So everybody's pointing. Chazaka. This guy's a white beard. Somehow I got, oh yeah, because the guy with the gun, fine. Anyway, I had to say the joke. Even though it's late. So the father is claiming against everybody. Here, look at the sign. Look at the picture again. There's a guy with a white beard. Everybody chaps that he's the b'char. The father insists, no, the younger guy is the b'char. They go on there's no chazaka. Is he neman or not neman? Think about it. All the father's trying to do is give him his own money in a Yerusha. But it doesn't work like that, Rabbi. So why? Because the Torah does Yerusha, not you. You want to give him a gift? 100%. Is that me? Oh, that means there's a red alert somewhere. Okay, we're so used to, a few missiles falling on Yidden somewhere. Who cares? Now they're going to cut that out and say that I said that. So what do you do in such a situation? So like we said before, let each guy, the guy in the white beard, and the guy in the black beard, let them write a star that they moichel each other. They'll do some sort of division between themselves. No sponsors. Okay, whatever. I don't know where it is. You'll have to put it up. Says Gemara Marav. There's sometimes we don't do sponsors. A case like today, it's 8:03 already. Rabbanon say that a father has 0 nemanos, so just say the father's not neman in this case. And if we hold like Rabbi Yehuda, in a second we're going to see Rabbanon and Rabbi Yehuda, so say that Allah is like Rabbi Yehuda, that what a father's believe. By the way, just to remind Olam, yesterday we said a father's believe. What's pshat? Because yesterday we were talking about a situation that nobody argues. I'm sure you said about your son he's a b'char. You said about your son. I said about my son he's a b'char. Or maybe the other brother. No, we have nemanas because nobody's arguing. We're talking about a situation that people have a chazaka that the other guy's the b'char, and you want to argue with the world. Okay, so now you're not believe. So the Gemara, you know why he didn't say it like that? I don't know what the halacha is. Does the father have an nemanas? Not. So just write our shah. Make a deal between yourselves. Where's the machlekes Rabbanon and review? The Sanya Yakir. When the Torah says Yakir, he'll recognize. What does it mean, Yakir? Yakir la'acherim. Yakirenu la'acherim. The father's job is when he has a b'char, but it's still the whole parasha of b'chara, he tells other people that he's the b'char. It's a big chiddush that a father, you don't have to bring Eidim. This kid is going to get mumminess. He's going to get a double portion without Eidim. The father has the right. Shame, and this is even a bigger chiddush. This son is my b'char. My son is a chalal. I married a grusha. I'm a kohen. I'm being made. I married a grusha, and this kid is a chalal. V'zeh ben chalutza. The chacham say there's no belief. What? No. I'm asking. I threw in a kasha without explaining the answer. Somebody promised me he's going to bring me it's Pashut. He said if you went to Panovich, you should have known the answer. So I said, what is the answer? He says, I don't know. I'm sure they speak about it. I just thought about it then. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that the father has nemanos, he's believed to say, this is my son. That's why it says the word yakir. And the Rabbanan that say that he doesn't have nemanos, what's yakir lamali? When there's no argument. And we don't know, the 6-year-old, the oldest, or the 5-year-old, they both look the same age. The father has the right to say, this one is the b'char. Ask the Gemara, the obvious question that everybody in this room should be asking. If a father has the right to give any son he wants, any mount he wants, and he could take people out of the Yerusha, in the Yerusha, if it's not B'Yerusha, it's only B'matana, so how come the father's not believed there to say that this is my b'char? He could just give it to him as a gift if he wants. Just give it as a gift. What is that called? Migur. As the Gemara, he should consider him like a stranger. Within the sons, we learned the father can give any son any amount he wants as a gift. So he should be believed. He has a migoy. So the Gemara he said that this kid is a Bechar. So that only works for what he has right now today, not for what he's getting tomorrow in the lottery. He does have the ability to give something that he doesn't even have today, even something that will come into existence later. A person has the ability. So what do you need the pasuk? So this is a big chiddush. A person has the ability, according to Rameir, to give things that he doesn't even own. When he'll get them, they'll go to. But it's only on condition that when he receives these items in a year from now, the lottery, he wins the lottery in a year from now, he's capable of giving it then. But if he's just alive and not capable, which is a situation of a geisus, a guy he's dying at any minute, so he can't move his arm, he can't even speak, he can't do anything. A guy like that cannot give away a Dov Rachel Eisenberger today in advance. You have to have the ability. Roy Labila, sort of. You have to have the ability to give it over. Even though you don't give it over, you give it over today. But you have to have that ability. We'll do 4 more lines, and that's it. Tana Rabbana. People say that this guy is the oldest. And one day the father wakes up, he says, no. It's the guy with the black beard that's the oldest, not the guy in the white beard. Neman. Who does that go like? Like Rabbi Yehuda, that says he has Nemanos. Now, it's in the same brayso. If everybody says this guy is not the Bechar, a father doesn't have nose. Who does that go like? Rabbanan. And this is not a question, this is an answer. Reisha Rabbi Yehuda v'Sefer Rabbanan, we must say that the Reisha goes like Rabbi Yehuda has Nemanos, and the Sefer is Rabbanan, he doesn't have Nemanos. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.